being in a networking group. It really isn't. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my third episode today of Goosebump Moment Presents. My name is BJ Stevens, and I am the founder of Goosebump Moments. Interviews. I did one with a gentleman by the name of Kevin Roach, who is out of Scotland, and he works with energy and saving your carbon imprint on the planet. And then my next guest was Annie Page, who is, I'm telling you folks, she's just a dynamite in a bottle. She doesn't let any grass grow under her feet. She does so many things, and she's coming back in a couple of weeks for a second interview. Today, I have a gentleman here I've known maybe for what, about a year, off and on, about a year. Yeah. And I'm always fascinated by this profession. This is kind of sort of something that I played around with in my youth that I thought I'd like to do. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jim Barker, and I'm gonna title him Cartoonist Extraordinaire, because he does so many things, and he does them brilliantly, as you can tell by his background. Look at the backdrop right there. So Jim, welcome. Thank you for taking the time.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking me.
Okay, so first of all, people should notice if they were listening in, you have a little bit of accent. So tell them where you're from.
I'm from a little town called Falkirk in Scotland. And Falkirk is literally halfway between Glasgow and Edinburgh. You know, so
there you
about
go.
25 miles away.
Beautiful country over there. Okay, so cartoonist, that's got to be one of the best, funnest jobs in the whole world.
God, you think so? And it can be time. It's just like any other graphic design job. You have good clients, you have bad clients. You have good jobs, you have bad jobs. It really is just to say like.
Yeah, but the creativity. I mean, when we're talking, if anybody here has an interest in becoming a cartoonist or a graphic illustrator, or maybe has children who has a skill or a talent in that area, how would you? What kind of a background would you tell them that they're going to need for the profession?
I mean, when I was a child, it's gone back a long time, I just always drew. I always had a pencil, a bit of paper. If there was nothing, I used to draw on the walls of the house or anything. So I'd just get a pen, a bit of paper, go and get a big pile of typing paper out of the stationers and a pencil and just draw. And just look at, find people that you like. And there's no harm in sitting down and copying other people. That's the people, everybody gets started. And gradually, as you're doing it, you'll develop your own style. And you can pick up tricks. But that's the thing to do is draw. Just sit with paper and draw.
And have a creative imagination, right? A creative eye.
I've always believed in taking in. You only get out what you take in. So I read a great deal. I watch TV, films, whatever. And there's a lot of influences. And then they say, whatever you take in, it gets stored in there. Sometimes that. And
okay, so give me your opinion on. I don't know about in Scotland or anywhere in the UK, but I know over here a lot of our art supply stores have the books that you could purchase and all kinds of equipment. The pastel colors or the markers or the pens or the calligraphy pens or any of that. Is that something that could be beneficial to get started, at least be familiar with?
if you're starting off, I would just literally just find a pencil, preferably a thick, um, something like that.
Yeah.
Go for I'm using a 2B pencil, something that's can make a good mark, and just use that first of all, and then maybe go to a Sharpie type pencil. I'm disappearing. Um, a Sharpie type pen, and again just go on to gradually in that. But the thing with a pencil is you can go back and you can rub it out, and you can make your mistakes. If you go with a pen, then you're kind of committed. So use a pencil first for your drafts, and then go
Give
on to
me,
your
give me a moment here. I don't know if I can find it quick. Um, and I can, obviously. Oh, yeah, here I can. Years ago, many years ago, I had my own. Um, I had my own calligraphy business. I used to make my own greeting cards. See, I
pen.
told you I'm a woman of many talents. Um, and over the years, I have, with all my moves and things, I have lost things. But I want to show you one of my pins that was given to me by a client that I had.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah. And it writes so well. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. Sadly, I don't use it much anymore, but I like the calligraphy part of it. And talk to me about what your clients really are interested in. Are they interested in a sense of humor? Are they interested in sentiments on cards or anything? What kind of things do they mostly want?
A sense of humor, most of all. Um, I've always believed in the humor is a great way of getting a message across, whether it's advertising, promotion, whatever. So it's something that they can use to promote a message without without maybe dictating or um, being too soppy or sentimental about it. Most of the things I do, like explaining a point. Like I've just done a cartoon about keeping your work safe on your computer screen if you're in an office. Make sure that it's all switched off when you leave. So something like you do a cartoon, something like that. You can get a message across with a joke as opposed to being dictatorial about it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm not really, I'm not a really sentimental one. There's more of I don't know, a bit more of trying to think of the
Humor, more
humor.
of a humorist. You are more of a humorist. I will say that about you. Um, so let me read to the audience some of the things that you provide, some of the services you provide. Ad design, print design, and print design includes print and logo design, graphic design. Also applies to like t-shirts and branding. Isn't that correct?
You have to understand my background. I mean, I go way, way back. My background is I started off life as a straightforward graphic designer. Designing up. I went to a place in Edinburgh called Napier College um, many, many, many years ago. This is well before computers. And I did a course in, at the time it was known as Design for Print. And then what that did was it taught you all the stages from thinking up the design idea, doing the artwork, and then followed into the all the process, making the
Mm-hmm,
printing plates, making the
mm-hmm.
page layers, and then actually printing. And that's the whole thing. So in the good old days, this was well before computers. I learned how to, you know, typeset. Like this, I put things in
Yeah,
places,
exactly. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh, and all the processes in between, and then that all kind of go taken over by computers. But my background was that sort of thing. And then when I left college, I walked straight into a job with my local newspaper, designing adverts. And I was there for, there was a two-man department, and our main job was to design adverts for the clients, but we also did editorial stuff as well. And that's where I started doing the cartooning, because since I had a two-man department, they decided they wanted to do a local cartoon every week. And it was my boss that started that off. And when he left, I took over. And gradually that's where the cartoon started. And then they came around, I've been there for about 8.5 years, and they came around and said, we're £1.75 million in debt. There are going to have to be some redundancies. And I decided I was going to take a voluntary redundancy. And I
Mhm.
was on the Monday, and it was Friday, I was out with my redundancy package thinking, oh no, now what have I done? Now what do
Yeah.
I do?
Yeah.
And it started from there. And I started off doing corporate identity, brochures, newsletters, all that type of thing, uh, exhibition display. And then after about 10, 15 years, somebody invented personal computers, and great wadges of the business just disappeared. And a lot of it was taken over with computers.
Hmm.
And gradually you just saw, you know, disappearing because people were doing things themselves. And I'd look at what I did. And by that point, it was 95% graphics and 5 cartoons. And gradually, what's happened over the years is gone the other way around. So while I've got to the cartoons and illustration, I've got the graphic background as well. We're doing all that type of
Cool.
thing.
Yeah, that's very good. And you also do some animation, isn't that correct?
Well, again, you just sat down one day and I thought, right, okay, I'm doing this. What can I use that on? And
Right.
I started looking into doing things, well, explainer videos, that type of thing. I started to do live caricaturing events, which was not my favorite occupation. I was
Yeah.
just trying to expand on what I can do, and dabbled with maybe teaching people how to draw cartoons as well for trainers and that type of thing.
There
So
you
they're
go.
all
So it's fair to say that your cartoons or your illustrations won't show up in the New Yorker magazine, correct?
no, you have to be a very certain type of person to get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
New York.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's not that kind of humor. It's not that kind of humor. Do you
No.
have some examples? Do you have some examples right
Well,
handy that you can show? If we're going to play around with your background because sometimes it'll pixel out.
well,
But
let me go on to settings, and here we go. You can see what untidy schedule I have.
yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I love that. Jim sent that to me the other day, and I absolutely love it. In fact, I've already sent it out to a couple of friends.
Um, since we're getting into, by the way, happy St Andrew's Day.
Oh, yes, St. Andrew's Day. That's a Scottish holiday. Look at that. That's very nice, Jim.
And I'll give you a world. I'm going to give you a world exclusive. Um, one of the other things I dabbled in doing was children's books.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm having a chat with somebody in January about writing and drawing my own children's book.
Oh,
And
Jim, that's wonderful.
this is a world exclusive. That is the very first draft of the character I'm thinking about doing in my children's book. So you've got world exclusive there.
Look at that. Do we have a name?
Yes, but I'm not going to say it because it spoils.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cool.
You were talking about greeting cards.
There you go. What's it say?
I forgot your birthday.
I forgot your birthday. Okay.
And this is the town from Falkirk. You know, every town has a nickname for the people who come from it. People from Falkirk know as Falkirk Bairns. So they're the people who appear in the cartoons each week. This is this week's local cartoon.
Jim, you are so talented. No. Now I know you have done a lot of logos for some of the people that you and I are connected and networking with, um, and that's cool. So I want the people to know, and I alluded this early on in a couple of my other broadcasts. I hope that people will embrace a new strategy, a new thought, a new plan going into 2023. Um, because video interviews, video branding, cartoonists, graphic designers, um, uh, virtual assistants, and voiceover artists. I'm telling you, folks, these are 4 or 5 of the biggest industries that are hot. I mean, hot right now. So if you can, think about embracing one or all of those for your business. It makes such a difference. Now, talk about you're getting ready to say something. So go ahead.
I was going to say that one of the things I come across is what I call cartoonophobia. There's a lot of people who will just not countenance using cartoons because they tend to think cartoons are down market or
Or
they're
childish, right? Or childish.
college. Yes, you
Yeah.
certainly. I mean, you're slightly different in in America because you don't have the children's comics that we have over here. Um, so over here, comics, cartoons tend to be maybe associated more with children,
Mm-hmm.
whereas in the USA or Japan or France or something like that, they're an art form. So sometimes I have to overcome people's reluctance to use cartoons as a communications tool. But to me, it's a great way of breaking the ice.
I couldn't agree more.
If you're doing a presentation, and it sounds very poncy, but it's what I call the strategic use of humor. You don't go out and do make a situation comedy. But if you're doing a presentation, just slip the odd cartoon in just to break the ice and keep people alive. So,
Yeah, I saw a TEDx presentation probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I apologize because I don't remember the gentleman's name. But on the drop down screen behind him, um, as he was proceeding through the presentation, he was making bullet points, and instead of making a list of bullet points, he presented, and I think there were 6 or 7 um, individual bullet points on the screen, and each one was followed or preceded with a cartoon, and it made the point. It solidified the point that he was trying to make. Um, and then later in the comments, people said, "I don't exactly remember the quote. It was the one with the cartoon that did that." It's impressive. People remember those things. Um, again, I can't speak enough about this profession for small business. Jim, I'm going to invite you next year. I'm going to be doing a lot of training on a monthly basis,
yeah.
but I would very much like to invite you back as one of my guests for like an hour, and let's talk about how we can help business brand themselves with cartoons or brand themselves in a unique way. Okay.
Well, if you think about, what am I going to say, like things like Kellogg's Frosties, with the tongue of the tiger. Well, I
Right.
presume you have tongue of the tiger over in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony the Tiger. Yeah. Big deal.
Well, I mean, cartoon mascots are the big dream of people like me are to create the next Snoopy or the next Garfield or the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then we can just sit back and take in the receive all the royalties.
Well, and then here during the holiday season, you've got Frosty the Snowman, you got Santa Claus, you've got the reindeer as evident or virtual background. You've got all kinds of things. I even remember a cartoon a while back. Uh, resembling some Dickensonian Christmas carolers around. Oh, see, now how lovely is that? You know, um, that were standing around and they were all cartoon, but it emoted from the viewer or the watcher. It emoted sentiments and holiday memories and things.
Yeah.
Cartoons play a role in our lives, and yeah, there's a variety of types of cartoons out there, but it doesn't mean that they can't apply to business. And that's what it was. Plus, branding. Let's talk about branding. You can do shirts. You can do okay. Other than design on shirts, what other coffee mugs? Don't you? Can you do coffee mugs? Looky there. Now, what a great promotional item. What a great promotional way to get your brand out, your name out, your business out. And what is that? I mean, what's the?
It's a beer mat or a coffee mat.
Oh, wonderful. Do you do magnets?
Yes.
Yeah, see magnets.
I do. Well, I work with a company called Red Bubble. And basically, what I do, you can go in there. I have a shop there where you can go on and hold on.
Oh, there you be. There you go. Now, guys, it works. It absolutely works. This kind of stuff for your business, and I so encourage you to reach out and get a hold of Jim. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can see down below on the scroll his website, and then just go to LinkedIn and look up. Is it Jim Barker? LinkedIn.in / Jim Barker, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See, it's how easy is that? I mean, you can't miss that. So, okay, Jim, is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap up here?
Don't think so. We've covered everything.
Okay.
As I was saying to you earlier on, the cartoon training is something I'm maybe looking at next year. Just going back to as an alternative to PowerPoint, going back to the good old-fashioned flip chart and writing your bullet points. If you can stand there and you can go in front of people and draw a very simple cartoon, you're going to be an attention getter type thing.
Exactly. And I will tell you, only in certain cases is PowerPoint popular these days. There's so much negative around PowerPoint. Yeah. So this it would be a great way to start that. So Jim, let us know. We can talk about maybe some future classes coming up on the next episode that we do. And which I think is cool. I'm glad you're offering that. And again, I'm making the offer to come back next year sometime. We'll schedule you in, and we can talk about the training. We can talk about how it applies in more direct ways with graphics and cartoons in small business. Okay, Jim, thank you so much. I do. Well, I appreciate you coming on. That wasn't too painful, was it?
Not for me. Hopefully it wasn't for the audience either.
Yeah, no. The audience will love it. I'm telling you. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. And we will see you, I think, sometime next week. I believe my next episode is coming up. So take care and have a good evening or good afternoon. And we will see you